I can't believe I never talked about Gotham before. It's one of my favorite shows, and I really love what they did with all the characters. Which is why in today's video, I'm going to be ranking every episode of Gotham Season 1, where it all began. I would later start with the other seasons, but this is going to be the beginning of where everything all started. Let's get straight into it.
In our own hands, then there is no law.
We have a vigilante who kills bad cops.
Oswald Cobblepot, he's dead, isn't he?
Your deductive powers astonish me. I just got a chill.
This episode was not bad, just not very good compared to the others. Season 1 did get a lot better, and I get why they did it. They had to lay the groundwork out. It was just Harvey Bullock sort of annoyed me at the beginning, and the Balloon Man was not that great of a main antagonist. But there were some things I liked. I really liked Don Maroney. He is a great character, and I liked how Fish's storyline is building up. Also, I do like Jim Gordon starred as a rookie detective, but overall, this episode was just okay.
She'll come with you.
No, wouldn't be right.
Are you ready, son? It'll be fine.
I think the issue with this episode was that it was not bad at all. There were a lot of good parts, like Penguin and the Riddler's first meeting, that I liked. Just the problem was that it was not very interesting. I constantly would find myself getting bored. I never was pulled in, and that is what held this episode back from being better. I did like Lee Tompkins quite a bit in this episode, and Gerald Crane was a decent villain, but overall, like I said, this episode was just not very good, not very outstanding, and that is why it's in this spot.
To new beginnings.
Do you miss her? I do.
There you are, Mr. Red Hood. Got a freak in a mask. Awesome. Now's the time to make a move.
This episode is actually pretty good. I do like Fish's storyline, being the doll maker. Alfred getting stabbed had an amazing shock value, and the only thing that holds this episode back is the Red Hood stuff. I felt like the Red Hoods were very weak villains. This episode felt mostly like filler, but overall I still really like the episode and think that it is really good. Just a lot of the other ones on this list are better.
But even good men have secrets. My father's secret, it's in this room.
I swear you will pay for this.
For the most part, I did like this episode quite a bit. I really liked Fish's storyline of trying to escape with the other prisoners. I loved the Ogre was a decent villain, although these episodes, I did feel like they didn't have to be there. With what they had, the Ogre was still really good. I did like how Barbara became a much more interesting character from this point. And Enigma killing his boyfriend and Maroney. This episode overall had a lot of good moments. Just there are better episodes.
Capable of? I have no idea. You gotta get out of town.
I miss all the fun. We might not be in time to save her.
That is not an option.
So you know nothing about this?
No.
We're in a shooting war.
So basically, I think all the Ogre episodes are in the same category. They have great moments, like Bruce investigating his father, then finding the Batcave, and Penguin getting the gang war to start, and the gang war started was really good and made for one of the best episodes following this. But as for this episode, it is just all right, and all the Ogre episodes are sort of like that.
Do understand, anything that happens is my fault. Rising star, hero cop who's gonna clean up Gotham.
Even good men have secrets.
He doesn't know it. He's a dead man.
We're running out of time.
This is the last of the Ogre episodes, but by far the best of them. The twist of the Ogre is actually after Barbara instead of Lee was played off very well. I really liked how Jim confronted Commissioner Loeb, and this was the Ogre's first appearance, and he did show that he could have been a really interesting villain, and as I said before, they did really good with it.
January.
What you're doing is admirable.
Guarding lunatics.
No, not quitting.
The next chapter begins.
I wish something would happen to old man Falcone.
Who would take over then?
Let me guess.
You're not turning on me, are you?
What kind of question is that?
I think this episode had a lot of things going for it. Fish's storyline was played out very well, especially with Butch killing his friend. Maroney was amazing in this episode. I think one of his best ones yet. Just the main storyline did not do that well. The Arkham Asylum stuff was done a lot better in episode 12, which this wasn't, so that is why this episode is only at this spot on the list. Still a pretty good episode, though.
What the hell happened to you anyhow?
It was my own fault. But I'll be back. Stronger and smarter than ever.
Did anyone ever tell you, when you walk, you look just like a penguin?
No, nobody's ever told me that.
The boy respects you. Trust him.
Bruce, you're hurting yourself.
I'm testing my...
The second episode of Gotham definitely had a lot of moments. Definitely well-acted ones from Jim and Harvey, which made the episode very good. Also, Oswald was very good in this, showing how he is slowly coming back to Gotham, which made this episode overall very good. This episode did a very good job of making Penguin not only an antagonist, but also a sympathetic character, but where it shines is Bruce and Jim's dynamic, which was the best part of every season of Gotham. And if it wasn't for Bruce and Jim's dynamic, this episode probably would not be as high as it is right now on the list.
The time has come in our relationship when we should have trust.
I 100% agree.
Have you been playing me, Penguin?
The second victim was abducted by two men after something. I want to know why.
At the moment of death, the killer removed his adrenal glands.
This episode was overall pretty good, except for the villain, Gerald Crane, who was not that good, but everything else about this episode was amazing. Especially the Penguin and Maroney dynamic, where it's revealed that Penguin, well, we knew this, Penguin was working for Falcone, and the confrontation they have is amazing. It is one of the best things about this season. We all knew it was coming, but it's what made this episode really shine. The reveal was still really good for the structure of the season. I liked basically everything about this episode, which was really good. I liked the dynamic with the cops. I love Jim and Lee's relationships, probably one of my favorite relationships in media. So overall, this episode was yet another really good episode. And that's why it is on this point in the list.
The hero's journey begins.
In Gotham, you gotta be mean. You gotta be ruthless.
And a new ally
Harvey Dent
joins the fight.
I want to make this city a better place.
All right, let's try something.
Break a leg.
This episode was sort of it was the episode before the mid-season finale of that Wayne murders arc, of Gordon trying to solve what happened to the Waynes, hiring Harvey Dent as the lawyer, and overall this episode was very satisfying. I really liked how they included Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent in this episode was very good. He was the best part of the episode, and I really liked him. Another thing I really liked about this episode was Fish going after Falcone. It was really good and helped the episode in a big way. And it also made the episode really good was I liked how Penguin and Fish going up against each other. That was also a good part. This episode had a lot of good going for it.
The spirit of the goat. This body may fail, but I will not.
Something changed them.
I will always come back. I will always come back.
Let's catch him quick.
What you have.
This episode is a bit weird because I like certain parts of it, but also hate parts of it, which is all the goat stuff and the mystical totem stuff. I don't really like that stuff. The scenes of Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock, how Bullock's past is built up, those scenes are great. Oswald Cobblepot returning from the dead and surprising everyone, that scene is amazing. I also really like the scene where Jim Gordon is arrested, Jim and Barbara's relationship tearing apart. That scene is good as well. This episode overall just has a lot of good moments holding it up, but some bad ones as well, stopping it from being on the top 10. So basically, I think the main villain ruined this episode, which could have easily been in the top 10, but wasn't.
Falcone let us live. You gotta go along to get along, Jim.
No, I don't.
Next Monday.
I wanted to make a gesture. I hope we can be friends.
In Gotham, survival
That is beautiful.
is the ultimate game. the war.
This episode I thought was really, really good. I thought that Jim Gordon was at his best in this episode, with unleashing his inner darkness in the arena, and the scene where Harvey Bullock stands up for Jim in front of the cops was amazing. The scenes with Bruce were good, of him beating up Tommy Elliott, and Alfred finally teaching him to fight, giving us small hints to what's to come next. This episode was amazing.
You want some excitement?
Yes, I do.
How's that? Excited now?
Next Monday.
Put it down!
Arkham was only the beginning. We're taking over every villain.
I used to work for Fish Mooney until they tried to kill me. Yeah. Hello.
I did really like a lot of this episode, including Fish and Liza, which is the main focus of it. Fish trying to get Liza to get to know Falcone so that she can get close to him, and that was really successful. Also, the Viper stuff was okay, but what really made it good was Maroney, how he figures out, or Cobblepot tells him that he used to work for Fish Mooney, and he interrogates Jim Gordon, and this episode overall is very, very good.
Celebrities from around the world. Here we are at last.
A little soon to be celebrating, don't you think?
No sign of Fish. She played the game. She knew the risks.
You stop accusing another officer of murder.
They are gonna turn on you.
Honestly, I think this episode is really good, and we had this sort of midpoint in the season until episode 17, where the episodes were just pretty good. This episode was very good. What was really good was Jim going after Detective Flash when the entire precinct was against him, and the final scene where all the officers stand up for Jim, Fish being tortured and escaping to kill Penguin, and that final scene at the end where Jim learns that him working with Penguin got someone nearly killed and realizes what he has to do. He realizes that he's going down a dark path, which is what made this episode so good.
I told you never to come back here!
There's a war coming. I can help you. Trust me!
Every legend has a beginning.
Everything my parents worked for is now falling into the hands of criminals.
Not everything.
You want to be a woman with power?
I'm looking for a weapon.
This episode saw the introduction of Arkham Asylum, and I really just loved it. I loved this one. Was one of the first episodes that was actually good. I love the gang war story, how everything came together with Arkham, how Wayne Enterprises, Falcone, Maroney, everyone wanted a piece of the Arkham project, but in the end, everyone only gets a little bit of it, making this episode very good. The storyline with Fish and Liza was pretty good, not amazing, but still pretty good, of her grooming her to get close to Falcone and gain his trust. Penguin and Maroney's relationship was good. This episode just did a lot of things very well.
And we're lost. This is my home. I'm not leaving.
Do you have any idea who did this?
I was investigating the Board of Wayne Enterprises.
You're out of your mind. Is that how you want to end up?
There's the war.
This episode was very, very good, as the last episodes were good. The Penguin was really the main focus of what made the episode great. It was the dynamic with Gordon, Bullock, and Penguin all working together to get the files to defeat Commissioner Loeb and discovering Loeb's daughter. It had a great feel to it. I also really liked how Fish met the doll maker. This episode just had a lot of things in it, which really helped.
Run! Run!
There's 2 children out there with professional assassins coming after them. This is on you, Dent.
No, Don, you won't make it!
This episode, the mid-season finale, was very good. I think Alfred, especially in this episode, was good. Same thing for Gordon. This might have been Gordon's best episode. The scene where he's yelling at Dent was an amazing scene. And the cliffhanger where Jim Gordon insults the mayor and is sent to Arkham Asylum. This episode really just did a lot of things right. The only thing that I didn't like about this episode was that the assassins, they were not that good of villains, but overall this episode was very good, and that is why it's on this point in the list.
Detective James Gordon, ma'am.
Well, aren't you a cool glass of milk?
Mooney works for Falcone. Maybe Falcone wanted the Waynes killed.
I know that you own the police.
You can't have organized crime without law and order.
Again, this episode was very good. It helped kickstart the season in a great way. Falcone was great. Having the Wayne murder be a conspiracy that goes on for 3 whole seasons was an amazing start. Gordon, Bullock, and Bruce were all great characters. And the scene where Gordon has to fake Penguin's death, that was an amazing scene. Where Penguin betrays Fish Mooney. Great scenes, just good scenes all over. An amazing episode to start the season off.
Concern within Wayne Enterprises, underworld involvement in the Arkham Project, and chemical weapons manufacturer.
Let's talk straight. I have a plan.
Fascinating.
This episode was very, very good. Jerome Valeska's introduction was great. How no one would have seen him to be the Joker. He technically isn't the Joker because they didn't have the branding rights, but he was great in this episode. He even changed the episode so much that the scene he's in is regarded the best scene in cinema, where he breaks down crying but then laughing. A great storyline. Fish's side storyline is also good, of her trying to get out of the basement and confront the doll maker. I did really like that storyline as well. Bruce confronting the board also led to a good storyline in the future. The one thing that stopped it from being one is just the Penguin stuff. The Falcone stuff is just better, in my opinion. In seasons 2 and 4, the Joker stuff would grow to be better, but just for now, it was just alright, simply because it was only one episode. And I did like how they incorporated the Graysons, too.
Electrocutioner. Jack Gruber is out there. I know how he thinks. I know what he'll do next. And that means you need me.
I'm gonna make my move on Falcone.
Fish, slide.
Now, this episode, for the most part, was good. The Electrocutioner stuff, he was a great villain, in my opinion, was really good. Gordon getting his job back and confronting him was pretty good. And Maroni being suspicious of Penguin for the first time was also really good. It was good until the ending, where the episode became amazing, where Falcone learned that Fish has been secretly working to destroy him and kills Liza in front of her. That was one of the best scenes in Gotham and Penguin scene in the end, where he says goodbye to Fish, and Fish learns that Penguin has been manipulating her the whole time, working for Falcone. An amazing episode as a whole.
Gotham's Day of Reckoning
Gordon didn't kill Penguin like he was told.
is here.
You want to start a war over the guy that carried your umbrella?
He knows things.
They want to push me, I'll push right back.
I think I know the spot to hit him.
Where is Gordon?
He wouldn't come without a struggle.
I'll send Victor.
This episode was very good. In fact, I think it should have been the mid-season finale because of the level of quality. It was great. Penguin revealing that he is still alive. Maroni trying to go to war against Falcone, and Penguin killing Maroni's friend. Gordon also separating himself from the GCPD. The first appearance of Victor Zsasz. It just had so many amazing moments. Makes it so great is Gordon and Bullock teaming up to go after Falcone but failing. This episode was just insane on so many levels, but what made it so great, and why I say it should have been a mid-season finale, is the end, where it is revealed that Penguin was working for Falcone the whole time, and he infiltrated Maroni's family. All in all, this episode was insane.
Begins. We will rule Gotham.
From the day I met you, I was planning your end.
I'm doing this for the city.
Gotham needs a lawman now, not a criminal like me.
Call me the new queen of Gotham.
Such fun we're having.
I hope to see you dead.
Honestly, I think either of these episodes could be number one. Just this one takes the spot simply of how just great everything is. The twists and turns made it insane of an episode. The episode is some of the most intense moments, with Maroni's death, Fish returning to Gotham, and of course Penguin killing Fish and taking over the underworld, and Bruce and Alfred finding Thomas Wayne's secret lair. And this episode also was great. I think Falcone was the best. Falcone's retirement, him leaving Gotham, and him and Gordon finally coming to an understanding, paralleling the first episode where Falcone said you can't have organized crime without law and order, and now he's saying that he's done with this business and he needs someone else to fulfill it. It's just a great episode in this season overall, although not on the same levels as the future seasons. Was there